Hello, my name's Laura, back again. I have been away for a little bit just because I am rejigging the old bookshelf setup. It's not quite done yet, but we're getting there. Today's video is inspired by the fact that it is ice hockey season. Big UK ice hockey fans, so I'm just going to talk about some recommendations of some ice hockey romances that I really like. We all know about the Kennedy series, which we're all looking forward to, the TV show that's going to come out next year. Can't wait for that. Love that series. I'm currently working my way through Mile High by Liz Tom Ford. Loving this one. I've been hearing a lot about it online for a while, so it's nothing that you won't already know about. I'm a little bit over halfway, so I'll be finishing that either today or tomorrow. To be fair, people think that this one isn't the best in the series. I've loved it, so I think I'm going to absolutely devour the rest of the series, as they say that the books that came after are a lot better than this one. But this one for me is a solid 4 stars right now, so that's what I'm on at the moment. So these series are ones that you might not have heard of unless you've been scrolling through Instagram. I know a lot of them, that's how I found out about them. First one's more on par with Kennedy, and then they get sketchier as they go on, so I would say cautious if you're a sensitive reader with some of these choices. And full disclosure, the first series that I'm talking about, there is a book in this series that I hate and I will never read again, but it is the Nolan U series by Katy Archer. This one starts with the Forbidden Freshman. It's pretty standard, very close to Kennedy kind of series. It centres around, you've got the main male character is a player on campus, broke a lot of hearts, and he gets into a bet with his fellow ice hockey players who all live in Hockey House. Original name right there, but we find it funny. He is Ethan, and he's in a bet with his fellow players that he can abstain from sex for X amount of time. If he loses the bet, he will have to walk around the campus in the nude, which will kind of put him in a precarious position with his dad, who's not really into him playing hockey. The female main character in this one, Michaela, her mum's a legacy with the sorority. She doesn't really want to be in the sorority. She's kind of nothing like them, so she's at odds with the girls that are in the sorority. They need her to pretty much make Ethan fall in love with her and then break his heart, because obviously I think he did have it to do with one of the girls in the sorority. She wants a bit of revenge, so she's not really into that plan, but she ends up having to go ahead with it for various reasons. Drama ensues. It's a nice, easy, quick read. There's some moments in there that did pop up on Instagram because they kind of draw you in. But no, it's a good read, and it's a solid start to this series. Guaranteed happy endings with these books, so that's where that one begins. Next book follows a different player in the ice hockey team, Liam. He's come from a difficult childhood, and the main character in this, the female main character, is actually Michaela's best friend. She sort of rocks up at their house in the middle of nowhere. Her name's Rachel. She is kind of on the back of an abusive relationship with a long-term boyfriend. It sort of triggers Liam. It's a shorter book. It's quick, it's deep, there are some dark themes. This is where the dark themes really start trickling into this season, more so. The other one's a lot lighter, but this is where you sort of get a hint as to where this series is going. But it's a nice relationship, it's nice the way that it works out, but it is quite rocky for our characters on this one. The third one, full disclosure, I will never read again. The female main character is abhorrent in this one. Hated this book. The Game Changer. It follows Casey, who again, he's a player, but a fun character. He does not deserve to end up with the disgrace that is Caroline. I think the things that she does in this book are unforgivable. So she's pretty much set her sights on wanting to bag an ice hockey player. You get hints of that in the previous books. It's a bit ugh. They have a one-night stand at a party. She gets pregnant, and this is where their story begins. She pretty much lays it on him in the worst way possible that, you know, she's pregnant. However, as the book goes on, she is pretty much withholding from him that he's not the only candidate as to who the father of this child is, but she is set her sights on, no, it's his, because That's what she wants. And it was disgusting. But not only that, she's a bad friend. So her roommate Leilani, you do get hints that there's things going on with her. She's pretty much ignoring her friendship with her. Leilani is very much in the know that it could be that it's not Casey's baby, and she's pretty much like, you can't withhold this information. It was horrible to be in this girl's head. Not recommended. It's a shame that it's in this series. I do really like the character of Casey. It's difficult. I've never read a book like this that I dislike, but unfortunately I'm a completionist, so it has to sit in the middle of that series. Hate it. However, the next book in the series is my favourite. It's The Love Penalty. This is Leilani's story. She obviously gets assaulted off book, off page in the previous one at a party, and this is an enemies to lovers with Asher, one of the fellow players. They are like magnets that repel, but because she's very standoffish, obviously because of what's happened previously that they all don't know about. But if Caroline was paying attention, she probably could have picked up on the fact that, you know, there's something off with a friend, but she's very much in her own world. But the way this story works out and why they come together, they do end up with a really deep relationship in this one. It is a dark read, but it's excellent the way that this one plays out, and they do start introducing the American football players in this one slightly, which they have got their own series, which I have purchased, and I do fancy reading that one, even though American football isn't a sport I'm interested in. The characters in this one was enough to make me want to sort of read further into them. So that is that one. I haven't actually read the last book in this series. This follows the goalkeeper who's actually graduated from college at the end of this series, and you see him afterwards. I think it's a second chance romance. So on the whole, this one is, I would say it's perfect if you do like Elle Kennedy, even though you do have that dire blockage in the middle. You could skip it, even though they are interconnected standalone. There's some little points that you wouldn't pick up on, but if you don't want to read into Caroline's head, I'm not judging you if you're going to want to skip that one. But overall, this series is solid. It's a nice cheeky read, and it's a nice it's an easy read, but there are dark themes that are weaved in there. Next one is kind of like fairy tale light, mild fairy tale retelling / ice hockey, but we are moving up the ladder of dark romances with this one. They describe them as bully romances, so if you don't like that sort of trope, this isn't for you. You've got Bad Intentions, Dark Delights, and Twisted Deeds. There is another one in this one, but I haven't read it as yet. Bad Intentions is like forbidden romance from the wrong side of the tracks. Good girl, coach's daughter. The coach moves in the main male character in this one into his house. He clashes with the daughter, but of course over time they do sort of develop things, but it does start as a forbidden romance. In this one it is Caden and Lily. It's dark, it's steamy. I think all of these books, full disclosure, they are steamy. It was nice to see him evolve, and I think there are characters in this one that have come from her other series. That was book one. It's a solid read, it's a cheeky read, and they are the Hellions of Hade, Harbour. So that was book number one there. Then you have Dark Delights. Again, this is a different player in the team. This one follows Beckett. He is one of the richest people in this town, and Eve's mom was a cleaner. She used to clean his house when they were younger, so this is where it's a bit of a Cinderella romance. Again, enemies to lovers, which they all are. Eve stumbled upon something that she shouldn't have seen when she was younger, and this has always caused hatred between the two main characters. He sort of misinterpreted something. It's an enemies to lovers. It's solid, it's fiery, it's spicy, but you also have like a financial discrepancy between the two characters. So you've got one that's incredibly rich and our female main character is incredibly poor, and it's interesting to see these two sort of battle it out against each other, and the sort of outlook on things is quite opposite. It's a good second entry. I actually think I preferred this one to the first book. And then the final one that I've read in this series so far is Eve's brother, who had actually gone away to play for a different team, and he comes back in this one. This is Asher and Winter. Winter is also incredibly rich. Asher is Eve's brother, so obviously they are incredibly poor. Standalone boy romance. Winter finds that she needs help from Asher in this one, but it's fiery, but she is an interesting character because obviously she's seen as like cold, but she's never mean to people. She's not that sort of mean girl, so it was interesting reading sort of a mean girl as such, but she's only really mean to the main she's only really mean to the main male character, so it was a nice little twist on, you know, she's not just like bitchy for no reason. So these are spicy, they're dark, again quick reads. The difference with this one to the Katy Archer one is the behaviour from the main male characters. You're starting to see them be not always nice to the female main characters, so if you don't like that sort of thing, you know, it is a bully romance, so I'd say go in cautiously if you're not into that sort of trope, but it all works out well in the end. The next one is very sketch, but it's sketch to the point that it's funny. It is not for the faint-hearted. This one, it was first time I read it, I did put the book down at one point because there was a tracker put in a birth control, which is ridiculous, but I laugh about it now, but at the time I was like, what? This one really isn't for everyone. It is C.R.Jane, and the first one's called Booking Wrong Number, which it starts off with a text message being sent to the wrong person. There are moments in it that are quite funny because of how ridiculous they are. So this is so dark it's ridiculous is the pile that I would put this book in. You've got Monroe, she's like a student, again down on her luck, girl, works hard. Lincoln, who is the bad boy of the ice hockey league. It's like obsession romances. I would say this whole series is obsession romances, so if you're not into that sort of thing, steer clear of this one. But if you do want something that's very dark, this is the one for you. They're all, yeah, they all get very possessive. The guys in this series, they get very possessive of the ladies, but all I can really say about this is birth control with a tracker in it. Yeah, so he does some incredibly sketchy stuff. This is like next level sketchy stuff. I mean, how these two end up together is crazy. He essentially kidnaps her at one point, like drugs her and kidnaps her, but I see it as a dark comedy. That's the only way that I can look at that one. Yeah, it's not for everyone. I think the first one's probably the sketchiest. She dolls it back a bit for the other ones. That first one though, wow. Book number 2 is Ari, and he was in foster care and Blake, and they actually met when they were children. He moves to a different team. He actually sees his childhood sweetheart again. They sort of go feral. This one is second chance romance. I do use the term romance loosely with these because these are very, very dark. And then the last one is Booking Wrong Date. This is like celebrity, think sort of Britney Spears style celebrity, and the goalkeeper, Walker Davis, Olivia, she is essentially living under a conservatorship. I was getting like Britney Spears vibes from her circumstances. So this one is probably, in terms of the main male character, he's probably the sweetest of the guys in this series. He does become obsessive, but for this one it's kind of like he actually saves her from a really dodgy sort of conservatorship that's going on in that one. And then there is actually like a novella that's a Christmas novella with that one. So I would say exercise caution with this one, but if you do enjoy and get through the first one, you'll fly through the rest of the series, because that first one is the sketchiest one. The behaviour of the main character of that one, it's ridiculously bad, but entertaining. So if you like your romances dark, this is that is for you. I mean, I laugh about it now, but I remember the first time that I read that one, I was like, wow. But I know she she celebrates her red flags in this one, so I do have fun with them. But if you like that sort of more edgy, dark, obsessive kind of romances, this is a series for you, definitely. So in the whole warm to spicy, red hot to dark, I would say this one is more on par with El Kennedy if you're into more of your standard romances with some dark themes sprinkled out. Game Changer though, not a recommendation from me. I will never recommend that one to anyone, but the rest of the series, thoroughly enjoyed it. If you're then wanting to level up and get into something that's a bit more kind of one step up on the sketch, kind of bully romances, Mila Kane's your girl. And this one is not for the faint-hearted, C.R.Jane. If you're wanting a really dark sketch, so dark it's funny kind of thing, this is definitely the romance for you. I'll be continuing on with Mile High. Looking forward to finishing that one and starting the next one. If you haven't been to an ice hockey match in the UK, go. It's the best time that you will have. So yeah, if you do have any sports romances that you'd like to recommend to me, drop them in the comments. Hope you have a wonderful day and see you next time.